Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry Bweza of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Today I want to talk about Artemisia. This is the plant that prevents and even cures malaria. It is now spreading in Africa. It is in the DRC. That's a doctor, they call him a herbal doctor, doing his rounds with his Artemisia. It is in Madagascar, and even children are taught to manage it. It's in Uganda, and the Meru of Kenya have also started planting it. And of course, in Bungoma, we visited Kibisi Mbakalu, the Bungoma community of Kenya that have recently been introduced to the Artemisia. These are some of the Kibisi community that are now planting and using Artemisia. Now, the Global House of Artemisia from France visited Kibisi Artemisia farmers and interacted with them. But let's look at the cycle of Artemisia. Those are the seeds. Those are the seedlings. So from seeds we got the seedlings. Then we have the grown-up plant. And then the plant is harvested and dried. And then it is dried up and ground into flour. Or rather, yes, powder. And then it is packed. And finally, it finds its way on your breakfast and tea table. So that is the short cycle of Artemisia, from seeds to seedlings to grown-up plants to harvesting to drying to making powder to packaging and to drinking it. And that is what we want to roughly go through. So here is a trainer of Kibisi community telling about propagation.
Most of the trainings about Artemisia we do it here. So we started propagating Artemisia from this place. We didn't start much, we started with 2,000 seedlings. Then the first lot was 2,000 seedlings. Our aim was to ensure that the community around is able to fight malaria through these plants. And we started by giving them such seedlings to ensure that each homestead at least is able to fight malaria, because for now to go to hospitals is very expensive. And sometimes those medicine from the hospital have a lot of contraindication with other medicines. But from this, I think it is nice. So this is where we started. This was our first plants that we started with. As you can see, we have done a lot of harvest. That is our dryer. You will see how our product is going to be drying there. So inside here, we have our propagation tunnel. This is where we put them in a polythene sleeve or a socket. They are here. This is how we propagate them. We use stems and cuttings. For cuttings, we get them from this stock. We started with this to make a stock bank. Not going to buy them, but to have our enough stock. So we just take something like this. Nani, give me a whatever. Nani, sekatua is inside there. Give me a sekatua. So this is how we, for the cuttings, this is how we do. We just take cuttings from the parents to ensure that, because we want to maintain the parent gene, we just take it from the parents to some extent to ensure that the one generation is as the parents. So we take like this. We prepare a socket. we prepare a socket like this, we mix as well with the well on the compost manure, then we just insert. When we insert it, we put it inside the greenhouse because inside the climate is favorable for rooting. So after they catch up inside, we can then get them out to do some hardening work. So that when you take them to the field, they won't receive any shock. They will feel as if they are where they were taken. So from outside, as you can see, we have our screening. We share this Artemisia bush with the bees. We have our apiary there. So when we take honey there, we take honey with some Artemisia toll because they get nectar from our flower. So even our honey is an honey Artemisia. Yeah, so let's go inside. Yeah. And for the inside, you can see we have rules and regulation. We never enter the greenhouse just like an open field. So we will just welcome our visitors to get in first.
Yes, you heard it, that this demo farm also keeps bees, and the bees come to this plant for nectar, and when they make their honey, the honey now contains Artemisia, and therefore honey from this place can also be preventing, or rather it does prevent malaria. So from outside, let's go inside the propagation as it continues. So now, seed extraction.
This is the final seed extraction. Can you show
Being sun-dried, harvested, and
so this is where we get the seeds.
Yeah.
Can you these are the seeds? Yeah. That's how she
Here
extracts seeds.
you won't have because this is only flowers there. Okay, so this is the this is the extreme stage to have Artemisia for the tea, like that. Extreme. When
the founder of House Artemisia in France gives her views, adds value to the training in Kibisi.
This Artemisia here doesn't heal. This still a little, yes, this still heal. But be careful. This one you cannot do anything with it. Okay. This is in the training, the 3 days training. We say with Chris yesterday in Kenya, you have to do that training all because there's a lot of small things that you don't know. You know, we are a world network, and so there's a lot of.
Yes. Back to the greenhouse. That was a sun dryer. The seeds are dried and harvested or extracted from there for propagation. Now back in the greenhouse.
So we will just welcome our visitors to get in first because for the locals they have been coming to visit us. So yeah, make sure that your foot are within the footpath. To ensure that you don't introduce something foreign inside.
Don't introduce it, yeah.
So this is our bed. This is our Artemisia bed now. We have raised 4,000 seedlings. They are inside here. This is another one. We have introduced another one there. The reason we are doing the mass of it is because we want to ensure that a large area can be able to fight this disease. Because these are local places, they are able to afford those higher medical covers. So for malaria, they can use this one. So our aim is to ensure that we have enough stock and we are able to cover a large area to ensure that people are able to fight this disease. And for that case, because Artemisia itself is a medicine, we don't contaminate it with chemicals. You know, most of the agronomists use chemicals, fertilizers. We just use biological sticky cans. So they are yellow, to perceive that perception of paste. When it sees that light, it goes there, get stuck. So we don't use chemicals to ensure that the tone extracted inside is as natural as it is. So this is our IPM. Oh, good. This is a spirit. When we are doing cuttings for Artemisia, to avoid introducing a disease from outside, we just dip that inside this spirit. When we are doing
Disinfecting. Yeah, disinfecting.
yeah, this thing good.
Yeah.
Good.
So just disinfect.
We just do this.
Okay.
For the tools.
For the tools. Then as we cut,
Very scientific. Yeah.
we cannot introduce a disease to where we are going to take this. So it is as clean as it was from the parents.
Yeah.
So this is the
way
use of it.
Very
Yeah.
And so as you were saying, like at least 5 seedlings per household.
Yeah.
So I'm sure right now at least we've distributed nearly 5,000 because we started with 2,000 seedlings, and then this is the third line.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third line in here is how many? 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000.
And outside is
Outside is 650 because the first lot we distributed 2,000.
so yeah.
So what location have you distributed to?
How Bacalo? This is Bacalo.
Yes, Bacalo.
Okay.
Bacalo,
Bacalo is the location.
Yeah.
Like a nucleus.
Yeah, so what we want to do is we're using the saturation mode.
Yeah.
So the people here, once they all know, they start now giving testimony to their neighbors.
We do the same
Yeah,
thing
yes.
everywhere.
So because
Testimonies are absolutely.
yeah, because remember when we wanted to gather everywhere, we discovered that it is we spread too thin. Yeah, maybe before we leave here, you can see we are introducing other crops. These are flowers.
Oh.
So that what happens is people can now grow flowers also at home, so that improve. I think you saw there's a house there. Somebody has really done beautiful. So we're trying to encourage that it doesn't matter how your house is, you can make the compound clean. Yeah. So then like we also this is mint. I think yeah, this is mint. So mint. So for purposes of spicing. Yeah. So we are also propagating. We started with one. So we have done so many now. Okay. One actually now very soon we hope we can have enough volume. Should there be now demand.
Yes. And from the greenhouse, we shall now go to the sun dryer, where we dry the Artemisia to prepare it.
They have that required germination moisture content, so we do it inside here. We are not going to spend much here because it's very hot. And to some extent, we don't want to cause people's skin. I get you.
They might like it to sunburn. Yes, inside the dryer now, drying.
As you can see, this is our starting point. This is our starting point. The drying section. This is where we do drying. As you can see, this mom doing it. When we dry them here, we take them from the parents when they are not chopped.
Yeah.
So they syringe and do chopping, as you can see. Can you chop? Try to chop to cut them to small pieces.
Yes.
That's how she dance on that session. Then after doing that, after they became dry, they are taken at this point.
Okay.
This mama will make it dry. You can see it is doing some paste. When she complete dry, she bring it to this section.
Conveyor belt.
This section is for grinding the dry Artemisia. Can you try to grind? Look below. This is our shelf that collects the fine powder, as you can see. I think you can see it falling down.
You need any blenders.
Yeah. That is the grinding section.
Every
And it remains organic.
Good. So this is the paste that they make, as you can see now. This
And
is
what are you doing with all that after?
what?
What are you doing with the rest?
The rest, what remains behind.
Oh, what remains behind is another quality which is not so fine.
Okay.
So
grade
you
one,
have
grade
powder,
grade
so
one,
you have
grade
powder. But be careful. Yeah, just be a little bit careful because
A few more tips from the founder of the House of Artemis in France.
solid tea for to cure malaria. With leaves, it can cure, but it's better when you have stems and leaves. Okay, because in the stems you have some molecules, and in the leaves you have others, and it's a synergy of several numerous molecules that go. Okay, so powder you have a little bit. I see. You have a little bit stems in the powder, so it's okay for people if they want to consume the powder in the honey or in the meal. It doesn't matter. Okay, but you have a lot of consumers of this powder. It's a lot of job, and you can just have this only.
okay.
You understand? It's quite a lot.
Yeah.
If you put it in honey, for example, for children,
Yeah,
you
to
have
take it.
Yeah, to take it. Okay, it's good to make the powder, but that's all. That's all. That's all.
But to make nice when you chop together with the stems,
It's a lot of job. It's a lot
That
of
means
job.
we cut them
Just
smaller,
cut them
smaller,
smaller like that, and then in the back.
Yes. After making to powder, now there is packaging and some testimony.
Welcome to our station. This is where we have the end product of Artemisia plant. First of all, we have the Artemisia seeds. We have the Artemisia seeds. It is called Artemisia A seeds, whereby A means it is an annual crop. It is an annual crop that takes only 1 year or there, but if maintained, it can exceed somehow.
Okay.
We use, when we propagate the Artemisia plant, we can use cuttings. We can use cuttings, at the same time we can use the seeds. But we prefer using cuttings because this one picks up faster than the seeds. Here we have packed them in several weight. Here we have the 25 grams of Artemisia. This is the end product of Artemisia after drying, doing all the processes. We have the 25 grams, we have the 50 grams, then 100 grams. We are selling this at 50 shillings, here 100 shillings, easy 200 shillings. Okay, the usage. Here, after drying, it is complete this way. We boil water, thereby you put in a glass. Then we use a teaspoonful. You put it 1 spoon in a glass of water, then you stir. Because if you just put it without stirring, it remains on top of the water. Therefore, you stir, then you wait it to cool. Then after cooling, you sieve. You can take it in the morning, nighttime, evening, depending on how you are feeling. After
It depends. It doesn't depend.
After using this one, you can use it even using tea. You can take it with tea as you are treating yourself. You can use it in tea.
Thank you.
And the porridge?
Yes, sure. Yes.
It can be used also in porridge. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay.
So this was our final point. We thank you much. So this is the area that we do such propagation, and our aim is to ensure that a large area is covered to ensure that people don't suffer from this disease. As long as you have brought this thing to us, we should respond to it positively, and so it will help us. So I think as we go there, try to correct us where you see we want to be sharp there. And because this is our startup, so
Absolutely.
not well
It's a well
Out of
done
that, we have those who have already used it and they have the feedback they can take.
Oh, they are here.
Yes,
Oh.
they are here.
Testimony.
Yes, testimony.
Nishatumia hii, mwili yangu ilikuwa mzito sana. Tena naumwa.
Nini?
Nakufa. Mwili.
Oh, mwili.
Ilikuwa mzito sana. Kula kitu kidogo ule nakufa. Nasikia mara uchungu sana. Sasa zingine nikisema nifanye kazi, naona tu ni dhaifu. Lakini vile nilitumia hii dawa, nilikunywa siku 5. Siku ya 3 nikapata mgeni akakuja akanitembelea. Pia nikampea siku 3. Akaniambia, mimi kweli nilikuwa mgonjwa lakini nimeona sasa mwili wangu unapoteza. Sasa hivi niliamka saa 11 kupalilia mwili, nimepalilia. Si mimi ndio hakuna mahali naumwa. Hii dawa ni mzuri sana. Mwenye hajatumia ajaribu hii.
Yes, we are being told, let us kick out malaria from this part of the world. The wonder plant Artemis can do that. And this community in Kibisi Mbakalu of Bungoma County are trying the first steps. So, please like it, make a comment, it will help us improve, share, and subscribe to get more from us. Thank you for watching. Please have a malaria-free day. Warned you.